We're rolling. We hold up the sail the first time. I injured myself. There's an injury. Here we go. Okay, there's Key West. And it's our way outside the States. The other boat is around. We're rolling. I mean, we're sailing. So we already start to tinker around. The sails now look like this. There's very light wind, but we now have two Genoas, and this is the original one at the front. It's a quite big one, it's 18 square meters, and the second one should be something half of that. It's like a pseudo main, but it's still a Genoa. It's going a bit faster, still catches some wind. Now let's leave it like that and see. With the next prototype it would be very precious to remove any possibilities for these things to make noise. This means the connectors between the legs and the ship's bodies. So these bracket parts have to be redesigned that these cannot make noise, because you hear that in the inside very loudly. So this is then one thing to be enhanced in the future. Hello there people, we have the 23rd of May 2023. First night of the crossing towards Cancun, Mexico is over. It was a very difficult, I'll put this into this perspective so there's no sun reflection. I expected no wind and no waves, and what we got were quite intense winds and mediocre waves, but very choppy. The new tripod got rattled wild. I'm astonished that it still stands because it was bent so hard. Then I tied it additionally during those winds and even put one of those two sails down. I'm very exhausted, I couldn't sleep at all. I will try to sleep now somewhat. We're drifting, there's no wind, nothing now during the day. It's expected to be 10 knots out of the north in the evening, which will support us at least to reach closer to Cuba. And if nothing works, then I have to get myself and the vessel into Cuba and ask those people nicely on whether they are fine with a person like me, and try to wait a proper weather window to go towards Cancun, Mexico, because I need strong easterly winds to achieve that. This is not given in this week, it's maybe given in the next week, I don't know yet, but I should reach this week somehow Cuba, hopefully. I will see, because the Gulf Stream is very strong. I underestimated it. Again, this is also during my crossing, I did this now again, because during my sails in the US, the Gulf Stream was always tame and nice. Now there's another game. We have no wind. Wind just... No, it didn't. We have no wind. So, I'm just drifting. So the vessel and me are completely exposed to the Gulf Stream's force, which is quite high. But we have to deal with that. I must get these 90 nautical miles down to Cuba, which is an issue if you don't have propulsion. I have gasoline, but I don't know whether I can reach that, so I don't want to risk it. Okay, let's wait and see. This is course 270. We are at the border to the Cuban waters. The problem is that there is Varadero in this big blob of a nasty weather, and it's not wise to sail directly into such a thing because we don't really have to. So this is why I made the decision. We go with the course of 270 We sail then alongside the Cuban border, maybe up to Havana, or behind Havana, the last marina before Cancun, and stop in there because we need urgently gasoline. Oops, I did a mistake. So we need urgently gasoline. Water would be also good. Water is always good. And a little food, maybe sleep a little. We are now on, yesterday was the second day. Now we have the third day on our journey. And yes, a small stop in Cuba would be a wise thing to do, though it is not permitted. But before I put the vessel and myself into danger, because I can't go on without gasoline, without water. I mean, I should put the priorities different. Without water and without gasoline, I should ask the Cubans nicely, hey, can I maybe come onto your territory? Can I stock up? Maybe sleep 1 or 2 nights? Maybe they're nice, maybe they go with that. Maybe they're not, but later on I'll know. And then I'll tell you. So we are still in the front of the Cuban coast. There's next to no wind. And it's a wise thing to now collect my thoughts and then use them for the editing later. Even yesterday, one day after I left Key West, I was still very, very sad about it. It's 1 year full of challenges and many successes. Unfortunately, I also broke a couple things in my life, but that's just it when you ask for true adventure. I'm still very grateful for who I become in the process. This is not an impossible thing to do. I hope that I can act like a sort of proof for everybody, so that everybody can do it by him or herself, and to go sailing and to enjoy him or herself and to be, of course, embraced in this wonderful marine lifestyle. There are to put this clear, it's not an easy lifestyle. It's very hard work. In fact, you have to work with both your hands and your brain, and you have to be very humble, as much as I get, because I become humbled so many times. You have to be very humble to be also open-minded when you do things wrong, so that you adapt and you maybe do things then a little better in the future. At least different, so you can continue learning until you hopefully do them someone better. So there were many positive things that happened, that occurred in the West. And one of them is, for instance, here, it's obvious, it's these sails. Both of these sails were gifted. They're very light tissue. This is the biggest one, which I use as a sort of main, but I let it act like a Genoa. And this is the smaller one, which I also use like a Genoa, but I use it in case like a storm. When this big blob at the back of the vessel hit this morning, it was like storm, you know. And then I thought it would be wise to put down the big sail, and I first time had the opportunity to use the smaller one as a storm sail, and it was indeed the best, because my rig became stressed way less, bent way less, but still there was some stress and I had to deal with it. This would not be possible without very generous support of especially one certain local. He knows on how to operate very heavy machinery, and he was very kind to see me swimming in the water, fighting with the tripod parts to somehow get them together and raise them. And he then, with a barge, put this tripod right on top of my deck. We secured it, we locked it, and that was then it. I don't know whether you watched this, Eric, but if I may explain myself, I rushed through my issues with USCIS because I had to leave the country, so I rushed to it and just said bye-bye to everyone. I just ran to the customs, made the paperwork, boom to my vessel, lift all the anchors, raised the flags which were necessary, and rushed myself out of the country. Now the next thing, the tripod. The tripod is very fragile, in fact. The brackets here show very small stress cracks, very small, more like friction here. and abrasion here on the inside of these pins. You maybe can't see this, but this is it. They got very much bent. They were very much bent. They worked like a charm. I am very positively surprised on how solid and sturdy they still are.